Will Mindy and Chad die in Scream 6? Let's get into it.
What's your favorite scary movie?
Amen. We'll tear your soul apart.
Allow Pennywise to dance you now.
Oh, not on the beat!
God, don't do that.
And sometimes, death is better.
Hey everybody, what's up? KillJoy Jake here, and instead of having friends, I have horror movies. Today we got a kind of a theory video on Scream 6 that we're gonna get into in just a second here, but first I'm gonna need y'all to like this video, and if you're new here, please consider subscribing because we're almost at 8,000 subscribers. That'd be pretty awesome to hit that milestone. Just 2,000 away from 10K as well. Super exciting stuff with all that, so I appreciate everyone who has already subscribed. Getting into this little update though on Scream 6, I got a crazy theory based off of something that Jasmine Savoy Brown recently posted on her Instagram that is mega sus. And she posts this picture of her, who she of course plays Mindy Meeks Martin in this the latest Scream film that came out just earlier this year, but she posted this picture with her and Mason Gooding, who plays her fictional brother Chad. Now, she captions it by saying, "What if only one of us survives?" And then the second picture, if you scroll on Instagram, it's this the announcement of Scream 6 is happening. Now, if you remember from Scream 5, their characters of course survive, and will probably be in the next one, as this post kind of confirms. So, will one of them die, if not both of them die in Scream 6? Which is something we need to talk about, and I would say yes. Why I would say both of them are going to die, or at least one of them is going to die, is because there's something we need to talk about regarding the mystery of Scream 6, or just the overall plot. What is going to happen in this film? Here's the thing, with a new Ghostface killer out on the loose, that's the only way you can have another Scream film. I don't think we're gonna have a movie where Ghostface just doesn't show up and it's just the characters having fun and having a good time hanging out watching horror movies. That would be wholesome as fuck, but I don't think it's gonna happen. I just don't think it's gonna happen, unfortunately. But what I do think is going to happen is that this movie, if it takes place right where we left off, which might not happen, we could flash forward a year. There is a lot of positives to doing that, but the thing that's negative about it is that we are bringing Sidney Prescott back almost for sure. I would say that's a 90% probably going to happen, especially because Neve Campbell recently expressed interest in wanting to do the next one. I don't think the Radio Silence team is gonna be like, nah. That would be kind of weird if they were like, no, to Neve Campbell, you know what I mean? So she's gonna be in this new one. And I feel like the only way that it would make sense for her to come back for this next movie is if they continue the film right where we left off. Because if we have to re-explain why Neve Campbell is coming back to Woodsboro again for another Ghostface killer, it's gonna feel a little redundant. And I don't want Scream 6 to just be a remake of Scream 5, because I don't want to see that. I don't want to see Scream 5 again. I liked it. It's a great movie, and I'll probably end up watching it a shit ton when it comes out in April. And in like this March, when it finally gets put on Paramount Plus, I'm definitely going to do a rewatch, and I'm going to watch it over and over and over again. But with Scream 6, I don't want that to be the exact same movie. It's the exact same way I felt about this film. I was like, I just hope it's a little... All my coverage for Scream 5 was, I just hope it's different from the other films and does something big and different that the other movies haven't done. Scream 5 did that very successfully in my opinion. But now that Scream 5 exists, I want Scream 6 to also do something different from what we've seen in the past. It's a challenge that I have with literally every horror sequel and literally every franchise. If they don't do something different, it typically ends up sucking, and then it's just not like, it's like the same exact thing we've already seen, when no one wants to see that. Because if you want to just see Scream 96, go watch Scream 96. If in a sequel, do something different. Give me something different that we haven't already seen in the franchise already, and I hope Scream 6 does that instead of just making a remake. Now, you have to kill some of these people though, because with 6 people that are going to return for this next film, whether it takes place right where we left off or a year later, years later, whatever, you have to kill some people off, because these people are kind of cleared for being Ghostface, and it would kind of be ridiculous if they ended up making one of them the killer in the next movie. Why I say that is because, like, there's no way that descendants of Randy are gonna start going out and killing people. I mean, these people understand horror movies, and like, they understand like, why you're not supposed to kill people, the moral injustice of that, why that's just not a good thing to do. And I just don't ever see Mindy or Chad being the killer. I could see them dying at some point in this movie, and it would be very sad because they're characters I've actually really come to like, and I'm very excited to see more of them in Scream 6, which is kind of confirmed by this post. But they kind of have to die for the mystery to work. Someone has to die for the mystery to work in Scream 6. It doesn't necessarily have to be the Meeks Martins twins. It could be Tara. It could be Sam. It could be Gale. I don't think Neve Campbell's not going to die in this film because she already said that she would be totally against that because of what Sidney Prescott represents. That would be kind of a massive negative if they decided to kill Sidney. And I would not be a fan of that either. So some of our new characters are going to bite it in Scream 6. You have to make the mystery work. And what I mean by that is if you have 6 characters returning from the past film that probably are not going to be Ghostface, and that's half of your cast, you already kind of destroy your mystery. Because let's say they introduce 6 more new characters. Well, it can only be one of those 6. And most people are going to notice that, like, throughout. We had a bunch of new characters in this last film. If you disclude the 3 main ones, I believe, like, if you disclude, like, Dewey, Sidney, and Gale, then what was it, like 9 or 10 new characters besides that? So that's, like, big enough to have a good mystery. If anything, I could have used maybe, like, 1 or 2 more characters. So if they're only going to introduce, like, 6 new characters, it's kind of a problem, especially when half of them you are already cleared to not be the Ghostface killer. So I think for sure we're going to have to kill some of these people, maybe in the opening, just for the mystery to work. So could one of these characters be the opening kill of the next film? Now, something else I want to bring up is that Tara did survive the opening kill, technically, of the last movie, and she is still alive. She made it to the end of this film. But what if the movie takes place right where it left off, and we get taken back to the hospital and Tara bites the dust for real at the beginning of this next movie? It would actually kind of save a massive problem that this film could face if they don't kill Tara off right at the beginning and they decide to start this movie right where we left off. Because there's 2 positives to starting it right where we left off. You don't have to explain why Gale and Sidney are in Woodsboro. They're in Woodsboro because they need to go to the hospital. Gale got shot, Sidney got stabbed. We got to go to the hospital and get fixed up. So, like, that would be, you would not have to write in some kind of crazy BS as to why Sidney Prescott is coming back to Woodsboro as well as Gale. The other thing about that is if they kill Tara off at the very beginning, you don't have to have another movie where you have a character has broken bones, has a messed up hand, and can't really do much to serve the plot. Now, I love Jenna Ortega, and I want her to continue on in this film franchise, but it's just give me another way that they could do that without having Jenna Ortega just be in the hospital again for this entire movie. If they kill her off at the beginning, it'll make this movie flow a little better. Now, the only other thing that doesn't work with that is you'd also have the Meeks twins in the hospital the entire movie, and they would kind of get sidelined, which would kind of suck. But then again, you could focus on new characters and once again have your mystery element be up front. Somehow they're going to have to deal with that. If it's like it takes place a year later. There's negatives to both. There are pros and cons to both situations, whatever they decide to do. They kind of have to go one way or the other. Because, like, that's my other thing. If they said it like a year later, they're going to have to re-explain why Gale and Sidney are coming back, and I just feel like it's going to get redundant. They're going to have to spend a lot of screen time doing that, and it's just going to be like, ugh, okay, we just saw this in the last movie, but now we're seeing it again. Okay, cool. I'm going to get kind of annoyed if they go that route. But at the same time, I don't know. I don't know. If they explain it well, then it's fine. But if they don't execute that well, which is something I'm worried about with this next film, then yeah, that's going to be a problem. What do you guys think for Scream 6, though? Will it take place a year later? Will it take place immediately where we left off? And will the Meeks twins survive this next movie? Will these main characters that we've been, have already been established in this last film come back for Scream 6 and make it through? Or are they dead? Is Tara a goner? Is Sam a goner? Is she going to be the opening kill? Are the Meeks twins going to be the opening kill? What's going on here? Leave me something in the comments below about it. Thank you all so much for watching this little Scream 6 theory. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe if you're new here. Also, you can support my page on Patreon if you would like. The link for that will be in the description below. Thank you all again for watching, and as always, don't forget to kill it out there, y'all.